folks, Moose here. Well, with CS6, we have a little bit of a change in our workflow, and more importantly, we have a vast improvement in our ability to deal with raw files quick and easily and getting out even more quality. So this is my basic, workflow. Just want to share it with you. So I have my mini bridge over here, and what I do with mini bridge, I come over here, and inside of it will be the files I want to process. I have an temp folder. Here's the net folder. So two things. Now, if this is a critter, I don't do anything other than hold down the shift key. So if you're on a Mac, that's the shift key, and then I double click. And when I do that, the file will be instantly processed in Adobe Camera Raw and open Photoshop. And I'm done. That's it. I save it out and I'm out of there. That's quick and easy. I love that workflow. Okay, and I can even take select 10 images, hold down the shift key and double click. It'll do all 10. That's just so cool. But I'm going to sit there and just process this one file. So I just simply double click on it, and it's going to come up, and there you are in Adobe Camera Raw, ACR. Now whether you're using Lightroom, Bridge, or Photoshop, it's the same math, it's the same engine. It's just that the controls over here, the UI looks a little bit different. I like this because it's fast, clean, and it's really simple, and I need simple. Now here's the basics. I start over, and my own personal workflow, I don't start with the basic. I'm going to go over to the camera calibration. And you'll see why in a second. But I want to make sure that the 2012 current process is being used. That's the one with the new secret sauce that really works so well. And then I'm going to put in the camera profile. Okay, I shot this in Vivid. This is a D4 shot. And I found that personally, the new camera profiles are updated, however you want to look at it, in ACR 7.1, just really rock. I don't know anybody else's, so I'm just going to click on Vivid. And you watch, you'll see a change in the photo, as you should. Okay, boom. Now with that, I think I can make my processing changes that I might want to finish this image. So I think that's important to do that first. Because now I'll come back over to the Basic tab, and I put in some vibrance, put in some clarity. Then I'm going to come over here to my Detail tab, and I put in my basic standard numbers for amount, which is 65. Hit tab twice, put in 5 for detail, and I think they up the ante a little bit on the noise reduction. I think it's better than 6.0. And even though I'm not critically looking for noise, if it's there, I'm just going to let it deal with it. So I just put in a little default, no biggie. Okay, and that's it. Those are my basic settings for starting the finishing process. Now I have two choices. I either can memorize that and do it for each file, or I like to come over here to the presets. As you can see, it's already been populated. Now how did it get populated? Well, you come over here to the international sign of SOS in Photoshop, this micro dot little thing over here in the corner, and you click on it, and then you see this pops up. I'm going to come here and click on Save Settings. I'm going to make sure the Apply Auto Tone Adjustments is not selected. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And click on Save, and then I give it some meaningful name like you can see right here. So if I come over here and click on the D4 Vivid, okay, which is what this is, you should see no radical change, because that's what I had already made presets for. And with that, all these numbers are already in here. I don't have to think about it. I just go over. So I open up the file. First thing I do is I come over to the presets, click on my Vivid, and I'm a done deal. It's that quick. Now what if I want to do some finishing work? Well, since I have a raw file, and that's so important, this is a raw file, I do as much as I can right here. So let's say I have a bunch of dust goober up here. I'm going to grab the dust brush, okay, and I'm going to do it. Let's see here. I'll make that farmhouse disappear just because I can, because I want to talk about it. And I'll come over here and I'll come over here and make that farmhouse disappear. Boom. Okay. Now let's say I have, the same image, and I have a whole bunch of farmhouses I want to make disappear. I can select them all, do dust removal on just one, and then it will sit there, and when I hit synchronize, it will remove the dust from all the images that are open at that moment. That's cool. Dust one, clean them all. I love that speed. What else? Well, let's just look at some basic looks on the fuselages. I've got highlights. What if I want to bring those highlights up a little bit? I can bring those highlights up like that. What about the shadows? There's a little bit of shadow in there. I can bring those up. And now remember, I'm working on a raw file. This is really important. Now the whites, there's no real whites in there, so I'm not going to worry about them. But if I have some white clouds up here, I think that white just works wonders. And I'm going to always encourage you to come over here and click on the preview. Look at the before and the after. You should be seeing little differences. That's the important thing. Now what about these colors in here? Okay, the yellow and Lucian tiger, the nose stripes, the dot. Well, I'm going to go back over to my favorite, the HSL grayscale. Make sure you click on the luminance tab. And let's see, I want to make the yellow a bit brighter. And there's always a little bit of orange content in the yellow. And what about the red dots? Why do I bring those up? Okay, click on the preview. Watch the yellows and the colors. Before, after. Before, after. It's small, but every little subtle detail makes a difference. You know, a little yellow on the prop all pops out. All that starts coming out. It's really quick and simple. I just love it. And of course, I'm working with a raw file. I'm getting the maximum quality I can out of it in very small, subtle, but important steps. Lastly, I'm going to come down here and click on what looks like a hyperlink on the very bottom, and click on that. I recommend you make sure you set this to Pro Photo RGB, 16-bit, and then click on the Open in Photoshop in Smart Object. Click OK, because when you do that, you open up the object. You're going to have your file. It's going boom. There you go. It's quick and easy. And you sit there and you look at it. And of course, remember, if you click anywhere on this file with that setting about closing these tabs, it instantly goes away. And look, the very bottom over here, there's that smart object. If I click on it, it gives me the fact that, well, if I click on it correctly, double click on it, I go back into Adobe Camera Raw. It's that quick and easy. So ACR 7.1, it's got some great new features. We lost recovery and brightness. Thank goodness. We got ones that are reading meaningful to the way we finish. And hey, it just rocks. So hopefully this helps you get going in CS6 with ACR.